Hey guys, welcome to the vlog today. I'm going to be showing you how we can take two colors and make one decal. Stay tuned. So for those of you that don't already know, I kind of started a little bit of a hobby on the side to kind of pass some time, and I just recently had a little bit of a surgery done, so I'm at home and I can't really be doing too terribly much. So I decided, one of my family members decided that they wanted some decals for the side of one of their farm trucks. So they asked if I would help them out, so obviously I wanted to, and their idea was to make a two-color decal. It's a really cool design. Actually, I really like it. It's not really anything too aggressive. It's just clean. It just has their name and some wheat on there. It wasn't my design, but they wanted me to stick with kind of the same design. I kind of fixed some things up on it. The name wasn't done properly and stuff like that, but and we more or less matched the fonts the way they wanted them, but we didn't do exactly. We kind of changed up a tiny bit, just kind of more or less make it our own. Which is kind of nice, but and we will be doing an install video in the next week. They wanted us to install this next weekend, so we're going to be going over to their farm there. We're going to be doing an install, and I'll try and get a video of that right away. But for now, I'm going to show you guys how I put together a two-color decal, and kind of show you a little tip on how you can do it too. So let's get to it. All right, guys. So here we're in my cutting program. I prefer to use Easy Cut Studio. It seems to work really well for what I like to do. And this design was actually done not in this program. It was done in a different program. So again, this is not a design that I actually made. The wheat and everything was actually made by the previous designers that made this. The farm asked me if I could do this, and since they do own the design, I just went ahead and I took the design and we made a couple of changes. This part of the design where it says border side, that part was actually wrong. The original designs had border side separately, so we decided to go ahead and they wanted it all in one word, so we made it all one word for them. We changed that, and now you can probably see here when I scan over it, it actually gives you where you're going to be cutting out. And what I was able to do is I actually separated the design. And so we have this separate, and then this separate, and then the words are separate. These are the hash marks that we have here for lining it up. So essentially all we do is we kind of just go into our library down here. We choose whatever one we want, and then we drag them in. That way we have marks that we can use. You can use anything you want. I prefer to use the hash marks, so I'm able to actually line it up properly and make sure that it's not crooked all of a sudden. And then when we go to do our cutting, we just make sure we select the stuff that we want in the same color. So in this case, we just go and we deselect both the wheat, and then as you can see, it takes them away. We have the marks there still, and then we can cut the border side and those marks in silver. And then when we're done cutting that, we just go ahead and we reselect the wheat, and then we deselect the font, and there we just have the wheat. We make sure that these marks stay in there, and then we go and cut the gold. And then we go ahead and we put them together. So I already have them cut, and now I'm going to show you guys how I am going to be putting it all together. Okay, so the next step that we're going to do is we're going to be putting these two decals together. And how we're going to do that is, you probably saw those little marks I put on here. So these little guys right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use those as guides, and I'm going to be I'll put the wheat onto a transfer tape, and then we'll pull it off. The reason why I'm going to do the wheat is because the wheat's going to be like the furthest out, and it does actually have the proper dimensions. So we have the transfer tape that's going to be the right size. So we'll put on the transfer tape, and then we'll pull it off, and then we're going to use those marks I put on here so that I can actually use that to guide it, so that it's all going to be proportioned the way that it needs to be when we made the design. And then we're going to have ourselves a two-color decal. So I'm going to get the wheat onto the transfer tape, and then we're going to be putting this all together. So there you have it. Now we have a two-color decal that we can now go and take this design, we can go install. It takes a little bit of practice to be able to get it lined up properly. It's not too bad to really figure out. The most important thing that you're doing, what I found, is that when you're making those hash marks, don't put them too far in. You want to more or less have them on the edge of your design. And you also want to make sure that you're lining them up first before you're dropping anything down, right? So make sure that, like, I always start off with doing the one side and then move to your other side, kind of pull it tight. Don't be too loose when you're doing that. And then once you've dropped the other side, make sure that, you know, there's not really any space in between. And then you want to kind of slowly roll it over and then kind of start squeegeeing it down. The other thing too is that when you do actually go and install something like this, because of the fact that you already put the transfer tape down onto the other design and kind of squeegee it down, and then you lifted it up, it might not adhere quite as well. So make sure that when you are pulling it off, you're not pulling it off too fast. You want to make sure that your whole design is actually staying down properly. But so that's how I make myself a two-color decal. I have another way that we can do this. It's a little bit more difficult, and I can show you in another video. But yeah, this is how I make my two-color decals. So now we're going to be doing an install on this next week. So we will be doing a video on that in the next coming week. So like always, thank you for joining, and live to race. Peace.